I clearly remember it was 19th of December 1998 and I was 20 years old. I had just come out of college. I was shooting my first day in a theatre in Sion. I was walking out and going towards my makeup room, which was in the theatre itself. A lot of the junior artists came to me and asked me for autographs. And I was like, you want my autograph? And they're like, yeah, you're आप hero है ना? आपका नाम क्या है? So I said, my name is Aftab. And they took my autographs and I was like, oh, okay, now how do I sign? Because I've never really signed an autograph before. So I was like, oh, okay, should I write my first name? Should I write my full name? So I said, okay, let me write Aftab S, the way I wrote. But yeah, that's the time I first felt that there's something different that's happening. And one is to obviously shoot a movie, feel important, feel like the hero, feel like a star. Second thing is to actually get a first-hand reaction from a common man who doesn't know who you are, who never knew of your existence till yesterday night, till last night. Suddenly this morning they're noticing you and they're saying that this guy is special. Who is this guy? Then you're being looked at from a magnifying glass. That's when it first struck me that something different is happening. I got a number of cities for the promotion like we do. So at that time also it was prevalent. And I remember in Kolkata when I had gone, there were people who actually broke down the restaurant because I was standing in an enclosed area like this. It was a meet and greet with the star, catch Aftab at 7 p.m. at so-and-so cafe, the hero of Mast. And it was only me promoting, there was no Urmila. And I saw hundreds of people just coming towards me like wanting a piece of me. And at that point of time, I didn't realize, I was wondering, and I looked at the back, I said, is it really me they're after? Because I couldn't imagine it. That's when I started feeling that there's something magical, something different that's happening. And what is this thing? Like, what is this fame? And that's when I said that there's something that's out of the ordinary. It's not normal. This is what they call fame. This is what they call success. I was like, wow, this feels really cool. I feel like Michael Jackson. See, I came from a middle class family. I grew up with no luxuries. I remember the audio release. At that point in time, I didn't have money to buy a jacket. I mean, I had a certain amount of money, but the jacket that I wanted was a bit too expensive. So Ram Gopal Varma, he sanctioned a certain budget. He said, I want my hero to look good. So let's make sure he shops and he looks good for this event. So he was kind enough at that point of time. Mr. Bachchan was scheduled to come and release the CD, and we were all waiting for him. And there was it was like a ballroom of a hotel, and a large crowd gathered over there. People are drinking, having fun. There's music, and suddenly we heard that Mr. Bachchan is coming. And I went towards the door, to the main door, and I was just stepping out to do something in the meanwhile. And I opened the door, and there was standing Mr. Bachchan right there, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, Aftab." And for me, it was like a shock that he knew my name. Does he know my name? How does he know me? And I said, oh, hello, sir. How are you, sir? And he just shook my hand and he gave me a really nice, warm hug. At that point in time, I said, wow, this is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan giving me a hug. And then he put his arm around me and he said, hey, Ramu. He called Ramu, and then, we all became suddenly one group. And I was like, wow, he's actually holding my shoulder. Yeah, it felt magical. It felt something very different, something that I never felt, because I felt significant, I felt important, I felt like I was different from the rest. Of course, it did make me feel very special. I won't deny it. There's this newfound respect that I had. Like whenever I walked into a room, people would sit up and take notice. And probably just before that, if I'd walked into the same room with the same set of people, they would not notice. Attitudes started changing towards me. Behavioral patterns started changing towards me. I started feeling like I'm the king of the world. I started feeling like there's something different. And those who did not notice me, or those who did not like me, or those who did not respect me, suddenly are liking me and loving me, doing things for me. And I said, yeah, it's a really cool feeling. It's suddenly I feel important. And I was a really shy guy in school and college. I never really had too many girlfriends. I didn't know how to propose to a girl. I didn't know how to date a girl. I didn't know how to ask a girl out. I was really shy as a kid. And then suddenly came a phase where I didn't have to do that. There were people, giving me the attention that maybe I wanted, maybe I didn't want. I was like, wow, everyone is suddenly treating me differently. And yeah, of course it felt good when you get attention, when you get female attention, when you get male attention, you get like attention from all corners of the room. And then you feel like, and even from people who are important, people who are celebrities, people who are, It could be anybody. And even in my social circles, suddenly I became the most important guy around. So I won't deny that being a 20-year-old, it did affect me. It did change the way that I thought about myself. I started feeling very important. When I became an actor, when I got a certain amount of money and income started flowing in very differently than it had before, I bought a car, I bought another car, I bought a home, I bought another home, and it just felt like all my ambitions were coming true. I became a spendthrift, I would say. I spent more money than I should have. I somewhere down the line lost a bit of value for money, and that's my folly. I shouldn't have. I should have been more conservative, a little more precautious towards spending money, because when they say new money comes into your life, you try to overstep. Yes, it does give you a high, but unfortunately it is also an illusion, which a lot of us, like we discussed, don't realize it. So it does stimulate you, it does keep you going, it does make you feel important every single day. What we don't realize in the bargain is that whole process of waking up and feeling important due to something that's an illusion is actually a long-term problem in your life. For any actor, if he or she believes in what he or she does and it does not work, meaning people reject it, that's when it does hit you and say, you know what, maybe what I'm doing is not liked by people. What is it that went wrong? Why did people, I liked it, I looked good, I performed good, the film looked good, I love you. You tend to love your own baby always more than you love anything else. So when a project is like a baby, if you love your child so much, why isn't the other person liking your child? It's actually like that. And then when there is a rejection of that child, that's when you start questioning yourself and saying, oh what, suddenly it was going all smooth all along. Is there something that's temporary? Is it like it's not going to last? You start questioning yourself. That happened to me a lot of times. So if you're talking about one defining moment, I can't think of one. There were a lot of defining moments. So I think I would relate it directly to my films not working. Suddenly you don't start feeling that important anymore. And that you actually get from people around you. It hits you last. It hits the others first. Like there's a guy who was treating me very differently before my film released. Suddenly now, he's much more bolder, he's much more confident, he's much more, he's got this little that you're my equal now attitude. What happened to that whole special feeling? That's when you start feeling like, okay, that's something different. And suddenly the whole graph of people treating you important as opposed to people not treating you important, that graph kept on fluctuating. That whole change then starts creeping into your psyche and then starts playing tricks on your mind. Now I'm not that important. But your ego wants to feel important. It did get to me that maybe I was not invited to a certain place, or I was not the most important person around in the room. It is but obvious that you will feel affected. That maybe I'm not invited to so many parties, or I'm not invited to so and so's place. But you know what? Everybody who's invited to that place is actually going through what I went through. And hopefully they will not eventually end up in a certain way. But I think if you realize that everything is just temporary and everything is just an illusion at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to affect your ego. And what the point is, if it affects your ego, you go into the depressive mode. It's the next step. It's almost seamless. Because it's your mind that's playing tricks on you. You're the same guy, I'm the same guy. Circumstances are different. Something that I did didn't work. You started treating me differently. I felt differently. I went back home and I thought about it. I started feeling there's something wrong. Then one negative thought went into another, and then to another. It got bigger like a snowball, and then it started messing up my mind. Then I started doubting myself. Then it crept into my personality. It crept into my body language. Then I walked into the same room unconfidently. Then you picked it up and knew that he's not the same guy as he used to before. That whole thing, once it creeps into your body language, it plays tricks on your mind. It slowly starts making you go deeper and deeper into a black hole, which is depression. If I had not awakened myself spiritually, I don't think I would still be struggling with the same issue today. I would probably be depressed, I'd be delusional, I would go on a self-destruction mode. But I think if you realize that everything is just temporary and everything is just an illusion at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to affect your ego. People who genuinely care about you and who appreciate you for the person you were before you got the fame or success will stay with you no matter what. See, timings, schedules don't have to match every time. I mean, today you and I are busy professional individuals, we might have our own commitments. There has to be that mutual respect between people who genuinely care about each other, that if I don't call you every single day or I don't message you, doesn't mean that you're not in my heart or in my thoughts. I think those who are meant to stay with you will stay with you regardless of your success and failure. Those are your people who are supposed to stay with you in this lifetime.
But with acting, I felt like it was a little beyond me. That it's something that I could never really wrap my head around because there are better actors than me. I had once just gone along for a shoot. I was studying for some exam, and it was Atul Gazbekar, and so this was some catalog shoot. There was Meghna, there was Malaika, and he saw me standing in the corner and he said, "Listen, just pose." I said, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "No." He said, "Come on, now don't be such a spoilsport, just pose." So he made me wear a salwar and stand, and he said, "Can't do anything with your body. It's like you look like a lump, like a potato." I said, "I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with my hands." He said, "Don't worry. Can you smile?" I said, "Yeah." He just took every shot was a smiling shot. So that was my first catalog.